Hello, hello. For those who I've never met before, or if you're new here, my name is Lori Conkler. I am an integrative success and embodiment mentor and retreat leader. And I support, I used to say women, but I'm just going to say I support humans who identify as those high achievers to create more ease, more flow, and to bring more joy and more of the things you want into your life, your work, your business. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today is, I guess, just what it looks like because I was actually recently having a conversation with somebody, and I talk a lot from the aspect of like the corporate background, the high achiever, the successful business owner. Uh, but she mentioned something and I will say I'm not a mom, but she mentioned, like when you're a mom, you take on that identity and you're just consumed by that. And it's the same thing because I was talking about it from like the business owner and like corporate executive and that kind of perspective. But that becomes your identity. So what you do ultimately becomes your identity. And that is the society, like that's the conditioning that we have, right? Like think about it. When you meet somebody and you're just doing small talk, what is one of the first things that somebody asks you, right? It's like, oh, what do you do? And it's easy to make small talk, which I don't necessarily love, but it's one of those things that we do. And can't see as well when I do that. Okay, so it's just that conditioning again. Like we're conditioned to ask that because we have been taught that like that's normal conversation, and that conditioning then becomes the thing that you identify yourself as, right? So you're meeting somebody at a networking thing, you're going to tell them what you do, and I get it, like that's business, career, whatever. But the thing is you then start to identify yourself with that achievement, with how good you are, with what you've done, what you've accomplished. And I see this all the time in clients that I work with, and I saw it in myself for a long time, and there's probably still some little niggly bits under there that come out sometimes. Um, but that's what makes it so, I think, difficult for many people to, or one of the things that makes it difficult for people to actually create the realities that they want to actually, if you want to say it from a manifestation perspective, because a lot of what I do really does tie back to manifestation principles and universal laws. But if you're trying to manifest more ease, but your body, your entire life, your identity, your body, all of it has been conditioned to align to I get rewarded, I get recognized, I get loved for being this version of me, right? So if you're the mom, you identify with being a mom. Everything that you do in your life revolves around your kids, around making sure that they're taken care of, making sure that they have what they want. Or maybe it's that I'm a wife, right? And I'm just listing some of these different identities. And this was one that actually kind of hit me because it was just like I don't identify myself as a wife, but one of the things that's inherently important to me is my husband, is my relationship. And I've seen over the years, and as I peel back more and more of these layers, is like where am I over giving, where I don't wouldn't necessarily have thought that. I thought, oh, I'm just being nice, I'm just being kind, but where you actually put other people on a pedestal, you put their desires, their needs, their wants first because you are that strong person, right? You're the mother, you're the corporate person, so you're putting clients, you're putting children, you're putting partners ahead of yourself. So, an example that I was brought up in a conversation I was having earlier was, my husband, he's vegan. I'm gluten free. And when I look for restaurants, I realized that oftentimes, even though I wanted to go out, I would be looking for a restaurant that could accommodate my husband. and I would put myself to the side. Or I would see a restaurant like, ooh, that's good, but oh, they don't really have a lot of vegan options, and I want him to be happy, so I want to make sure he has choices. But really, it comes back to me being uncomfortable with the fact that someone else that I care about, that I love, or that I might be wanting something from, money, if it's a client, if they're not happy, then I'm not going to get what I want, right? I'm going to feel a certain way. I'm going to feel uncomfortable. I'm going to feel like I did something wrong. And as a mom, again, I'm not a mother. I want to just put that disclaimer out there. Work with a lot of moms. I'm an aunt. Been around a lot of kids my whole life. Started babysitting at 10 or 11 years old. Um, but again, I see it all the time in moms is putting their kids' needs above their own. And, yes, to a point that's expected, but that also leads to burnout. It leads to resentment. It leads to moms not getting what they want in their life and then thinking that they need to put their life on hold for years. And then by the time they're actually old enough to enjoy their life, because their kids are out on their own, they've lost themselves, their identity, and it happens in the corporate space as well. Your identity is wrapped up in what you do, in what you achieve, and it goes back to even like as children, like I got good grades and mom and dad are proud of me. Okay, because again, that is what societally, what in our families we have started to perceive and project as normal human behavior. But the thing is it's really not. And the reason that I think so many people get to middle age, it's, you get to middle age and you realize like you've lost yourself, or you get to a certain level of success in your business and you realize you're not actually happy, even though you got the corner office, or you got the certain amount of money, or you landed this big contract, or whatever it is. But then you're still not happy. You don't have the joy that you actually want in your life. And you might see glimpses of it here and there. But the thing that happens is that when you start to identify as the thing that you do rather than who you inherently are, you start to lose yourself and not even know what you want anymore. And I know for myself, that was a big thing. Like, I got to a certain point in my life and I didn't really recognize myself. I didn't recognize what I wanted. I had achieved the things that I thought I was supposed to achieve. And on one level, I was proud of myself, but on the other, it was like, is this it? Like, this is not what I want. I want to be fulfilled. And that was actually what led me back in 2016 to up and leave my job, move to the Caribbean with my husband, thinking that that would fix it all, which it has in some ways because it has led me here. But it didn't fix the feeling that was underneath, because I still didn't identify as the person who could actually really have that life, that could really enjoy it, could actually thrive from that. So, the work that I do a lot of times with my clients, it's not just helping you to make more money. It's not just helping you to create a successful business or to attract a partner or to improve your marriage, because honestly, I do all of those because I think they all fall under the same umbrella. But I help you to come back to yourself, to express who you truly are at your core level, and to bring that joy and enoughness into all aspects of your life, to stop identifying with what you do, but rather who you fucking are at your core. And that is such an important piece. I mean, that's the new paradigm. I talk a lot about the old versus new paradigm of success, but it's of living. I really truly believe that. But and success meaning not just career, but in all of those things that I'm talking about. And when you self-sacrifice yourself for other people, you don't thrive in your own life, and you're not successful. So you can be making a lot of money, but you can also not have the relationship you want, not have the joy you want in your life, not have time to actually enjoy it. You can have a great partner but be unfulfilled in your career because you're putting all of your focus on taking care of your partner, and thinking if you actually put everything you want into your career and your business that you're going to jeopardize and lose that. Or if you do the thing that you want for you, and instead of spending the time with your kids, that people will think you're selfish, or that you're a bad mom or dad or whatever. So I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is, I just see these patterns, and it's across all areas of life. But the main thing that I help people with is really to, again, come back to yourself, to have a life that you freaking love, and yes, have a career, a business, whatever that supports that. But at your core, if you are not really true to who you are at your core, not who you think you need to be, not who society tells you you need to be, not what you make, not any of that, you will continue to loop. You'll continue to loop because it comes back to who are you and where are you not letting that actually come through in your life, your work, etc. And yeah, that was really just the message that was coming through for me that I wanted to share because if you want more money, that's great. Where where is your identity not aligned to the version of you that actually has that? If you want more joy in your life, if you want more ease, more flow, more flexibility in your schedule, it's not just that you're working too much. There's an underlying thing that's keeping you in that cycle of working too much. Because you can make a lot of money one or two times or even consistently, but then have a miserable fucking life. And is that what you actually want? No, it's not. At least if you're still watching the video at this point, that is not what you want. Because the people that land in my world, they want to have it all, and you can. And I just recorded a transmission in my Telegram community, the Unfiltered Collective, which is free. If you want to join, there's a link below. Uh, about this, and I totally lost my train of thought there. Okay, that wasn't meant to come through. That's okay. I'm not going to worry about it, and we're still going to post this video. So anyway, my point is if you came to this point in the video, that there is a reason for it, and if you are ready to change that, if you are ready to actually be all of you in your life, if you're ready to have a fucking life that you love, not just a successful career, not just money, but to have it fucking all, and to have it all with ease, without forcing, without trying, without having to prove yourself in any fucking way, I am the person that you reach out to for that. So send me a message on one of the platforms that will allow you to send me a message. There's links below in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And let's have a conversation, and also just get your little butt into the Unfiltered Collective, because I go deeper into some of these things. And again, I was trying to tell you what I talked about in my transmission earlier, totally forgot. So you'll just want to come in and check that out, as well as some of the other things that I'm offering and doing over there, and to just connect with other people who are like-minded and share these same views. So anywho, I would love to see you inside, and I hope that you have a fabulous day, and we'll talk soon.